Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava. As always, I offer my prayers to my mother, my father, my gurus, and all the guests online or here. Right. Welcome to KPs Storytime. We are discussing about Ramayana, the biography of Rama, the Lord who himself has come out as a human being to prove that a human can do whatever he desires and makes himself deserving. So, just to have a recap, there was a great king called Dasaratha. He was a great warrior, very good person, very good king. All his people were very happy with him. But he had one thing worried about. He did not have kids. He did not have sons. So he wanted to perform Sumedha Yaga. And at that time, his minister Sumantra told him that he would have four kids, four sons, but he should get Rishyasringa to perform a yaga for him. Rishyasringa was in his father-in-law's house, Anga Desa. Romapada was the king. So Dasratha went to Rishyasringa, prayed him to come to his state and then perform the yajna for him so that he can have son. Rishyasringa agreed to that. He, in working with Vasishta, they made all the uh, preparations for yaga. At that time, the entire responsibility was given to Vasishta, the guru of Dasaratha. That means one person should be accountable for any major project. Then Vasishta called all his worker bees, their bosses, and gave them responsibility. At every stage, again, he has designated who is accountable, who is responsible, who can contribute to this, and who should be informed of the proceedings. Likewise, you look at it, nowadays we call it as agile methodology and we call it as RACI model: responsibility, accountability, contributors, and informers. But in Ramayana, they have already talked about all of these responsibilities. So with that, they they have created all the environment. So they had to build Yaga Sala, and also for these things you need to get the guests. Imagine if why do we invite people to any function that we go with, marriage or any sort of celebration we want to have with, we want all our people to associate us. That's because the happiness gets enhanced when you have your near and dear, your well-wishers around you. So Vasishta told his people to invite all friends of Dasaratha and his fathers-in-law, right? He had three wives. So three wives, their parents, and then Janaka was the neighboring country's king. So Vasishta knows the relationship between Dasaratha and rest of the kingdom. Accordingly, he designated individual people who can go and invite them. Imagine if an officer, a low level officer in India Prime Minister office invites President of United States. Will he go there? He won't. So that means even invitation also has to go from a person who is at the same level. In our lives also, when we want to invite someone very higher position or anything, you want to talk to someone at his level to invite him. Otherwise they won't come, they don't care for that. So that itself is proved by what Vasishta says next. He tells them, minister, the prime minister will go and invite Janaka, who is close friend of Dasaratha, and similarly another minister, second will go and invite his fathers-in-law. So he has kept that hierarchy. What we need to understand from that also is to see who are we inviting, how do we invite. Even the invitation should be at their level. If someone goes to Janaka and says, okay, our king is performing the yaga, you just come over with all your people, will he come? He should please that person in such a way that he understands the importance of his presence at Dasratha's yaga. So that means the person who is going there to invite the other kings should be able to represent the heart of the inviter. So when you are designating someone in your life to perform something on your behalf, be wise, be wise in choosing the people. You have to choose the right person for that purpose. That's what Vasishta has told, that you go here, you go this side. And while uh, while they were going and then they were inviting people, on the back end they have to build the resorts for them. The accommodation has to be built. So Vasishta called his constructors, his builders, and said, go build as many buildings as possible, and they have to be in multiple tiers. You don't want all the buildings to be at the same type, so everyone will get the same treatment. I know discrimination is not the right word nowadays, that's a major word, but is it really practical? Can, if I invite the president of United States and his secretaries and his cooks and all of that, can I give them all the same accommodation? If I do, will the president of US be happy? He would say, what the heck, everyone is being treated the same way. So even when you are inviting your guests, you may want to treat them, provide the accommodation as per their status. It's a very idealistic world where everyone will have the same kind of accommodation, everyone will have the same kind of treatment. I was talking to one of my uncles sometime back. I said, what if everyone thinks the same way? Why can't people think the same way? There will not be any communication problem, there will not be any misunderstandings, everyone will be happy. Then he made one comment. Imagine if everyone is thinking the same way, everyone is behaving the same way, everyone likes the same thing. How does that world look like? It'll be like robots. So if you have created some 1,000 robots with the same program, everything, and then you put them into the society, will you see any difference among them? Nothing much. So you need to have differences. You need to have different opinions, different behaviors. Then the life becomes spicy. Similarly, here also, Vasishta has decided what kind of accommodation to be provided to the type of guests they were invited. So the day has come. Ashwamedha Yaga was performed. As last time we discussed, a horse was let out on its own path, and an army would be protecting it. If anyone objects for the horse, or if anyone captures the horse, he or she will be confronted by the army that was following the horse, and finally they have to make sure that the horse comes back to where it started, to the place where it started. And we did symbolize it to our heart, I mean our mind. Our wishes are like those horses. So the horse, as it goes, if you do not control your uh, thought process, if you do not control your wishes, you will be in trouble. That's what we are also performing Ashwamedha. We have to control our horses. Yaga was performed at that time. Dasaratha asked Rishyashringa to perform Putra Kameshti on his behalf. So far we talked about Ashwamedha. Now he asked him to perform Putra Kameshti, which means Putra means sons, Kama is desire, Ishti Kameshti is desire. So performing a ritual to get sons. Rishyashringa said, okay, I learned that procedure. I will definitely perform for you that Putra Kameshti. So they went, they started performing the Putra Kameshti. At that time, as they were performing, or they were chanting all Veda mantras, performing all the rituals, after some days, a Yaga Purusha came out of that with a golden bowl having payasa. That's a pudding called an Indian pudding called payasa, which is sweet in nature, and it is supposed to have all the uh, great ingredients in it to give boon to whoever was asking. So while this was all happening on the earth, in parallel, all devatas were troubled by Ravana, a king of Rakshasas. So, yeah, Devata and Rakshasas. Devatas are the people who are good nature. We'll call them gods, but let's get to our understanding. Devatas are those who are good natured, who want to keep people, who want to help people, who want to give boons to people. Rakshasas are the ones who are selfish, who want everything for themselves. In the Ramayana and Mahabharata, all of that, they were saying that Rakshasas will be in different, they have different faces, or they have cruel faces. They have horns on top of their heads. All of those descriptions were given, and they were said they were very fat, they were looking ugly, all of that. But again, if you look at it as a symbolism, imagine when you are very angry, when a person is very angry, how is that face? Is that pleasant? It's not. Even a pleasant man gets anger, immediately the face becomes so unpleasant. By nature, when we said Rakshasas are selfish, mean, they don't think twice to trouble someone to get what they wanted, how would their faces be? By human psychology itself, if we are having good thoughts, we have pleasant face. If we are very happy, we have pleasant faces. And if we are trying to help people, and if we think that our happiness is in helping others, Imagine what kind of happiness we will be having, and at that time, how the face will be glowing. So basically, when we say devatas who are good natured, they were all described as very handsome people. On the other hand, Rakshasas, when they were described as if they were very cruel, their faces were crooked, all of that.
Something not because that they could be born innately handsome, like or beautiful when they're born, but because of that nature that they could be warped. It's not necessarily just physically they're ugly or anything, right? Because you can be the most good-looking person in the world, but if you have that negative feeling, then that changes you as a person, changes how you express yourself, and then therefore it creates this feeling of unattractive.
Yeah, agreed. So a best example for that, a 2-year-old kid, not even 2 year, even a year kid, you just go there, that kid does not know who you are. If two people go there, the kid gets attracted to one person, and he may have repulsion towards the other person. That kid does not have any background, but gets attracted to the person who is pleasant looking, who has good intentions, or who is calm and quiet. If the other person is agitated, showing all the anger in his face, the kid himself or herself will not go and or will not get attracted to that kind of people. So there are no different species called Rakshasas and Devatas. If we go even in the hierarchy, Rakshasas and Devatas are born to Kashyapa Prajapati. Only one father for them. They had two, he married two, he had two wives, and one wife gave birth to Devatas, other wife, Diti, has given birth to Rakshasas, Aditi has given birth to Devatas. Again, what? When father is the same, mothers are different. It all comes back to the nature of mother, father, and the time when they were consuming the baby, how their mental status was. All of that is taken into account. So even in that one also, they give the reasoning of how you can get a good kid. So Devatas and Rakshasas, again, even today we have them. Today, a good person, you can treat that person as Devata, a bad person as a Rakshasa. So now, Devatas are being beaten up by Rakshasas because Rakshasas are very strong and mean minded. If you want to harm someone, it is easy. So they were harming Devatas and they were not able to take shelter anywhere. And these Rakshasas were all led by one Rakshasa called Ravana, Ravana, Ravana. He was given so many boons by Parameshwara and Brahma that no one can beat him, no one can win over him. And once he got all those boons, he started troubling everyone. He had such a boon that he cannot be killed by anyone. And at that time, he forgot to get the boon from two species. One, human beings. He thought human beings are just like ants for me. They can never harm me. And Nara is human being, Vanara is monkeys and bears. So he said, I don't care about Naras, Vanaras. But rest of them give me boon that they cannot kill me. That's called again arrogance, right? When we are in some project management, we always think that that's okay. That won't fail us. It's okay. We don't care about it. It's just minuscule. Go ahead. Let's take care of all the big things. But really, from this episode, we can understand that even the simplest things which we ignore will come back and bite us. So when Ravana was asking for boons, he said, I don't care about Naras, Vanaras, they are just minuscules to me. I don't care about them. Rest of the people give me boon that I should not be killed by them. So Devatas were not able to do anything to Ravana. That's why they went back to Brahma. When we are in trouble, where do we go? We first approach our mom. Similarly, Brahma is the creator. So all these Devatas went to Brahma and then said, please do something for us. When it is beyond mom's control, what does mom do? Mom says, let's go to dad. Because dad is the head of the family. What happened? So, in certain cultures, mom is powerful. In some certain cultures, father is considered powerful. It's again, when I'm talking here, there is no discrimination among anyone. And as in the first episode, we talked about, we are all born with, we all have that candle inside, the tea light inside. And on top of that, we have the bodies which are discriminating, we're distinguishing us as males, females, and the names are giving, the given names are associated with us and they're identifying as individuals. But when you go strip off all of these things, internally you have only one light, and those lights of all of us cannot be distinguished at all. So when I say mother and father, I'm not discriminating females from males. Please keep that in mind, because Prakash is giving me all the signals when I'm saying mother is for mother, father, and all. Oh, don't say that. I'm sorry. My intentions are never to discriminate anyone or show someone is down. Again, Brahma is the creator. Brahma is predicted, is shown as a man. So why am I saying man is mother, like mother? So anyone who created is like mother. So here also we are close to our mother, because by nature she loves us so much. So when we have a trouble, when we are having a problem, we go to mother first. That's where we have the comfort level to talk to. And when mother is looking at it, and then if she is not able to solve the problem, she goes to her companion, who is mother, who is our father. So similarly, here Brahma said, I understand we have given all those boons to him, but I can't do anything. Let's go to my father, Narayana. So they all went to Narayana. They started praising him. They started praising him. They were praying him, saying that, oh Narayana, please, we are having a lot of troubles here. We need some help from you. Then Narayana appeared before them. At that point, he revealed the secret that Ravana did not get a boon, or did not get the wish fulfilled, that Naras and Vanras are still danger to him. So I will take the incarnation as a Nara, as a human being. And I want all of you to take birth as the bears and monkeys. When I need you, you come to my help. What does it mean? If he is God, he is omnipresent, he can do anything. Why was he asking rest of them to come as monkeys and bears to help him? Imagine, though he was God, he is God, he was taking birth as a human being, and he wanted to prove and live like a human being, no extra powers than what a normal human being will have. And by that, he's saying that when we are in need, we have to take help of others. So he told them to take births as monkeys and bears. Then he started looking at who can father me. Again, so he wanted to choose the right person. he looked at that and then said, okay, Dasaratha is performing this yaga and he's a very sacred person, very good king, and he deserves me as son. So he chose Dasaratha as father, and accordingly he sends Yaga Purusha with that payasam. So Yaga Purusha handed it over to Dasaratha and said, Brahma has asked me to give this to you. Go give it to your wife. Let them consume so that you will have sons. There are multiple versions on how Payasa was given to his wives. Basically, they said, it was said that half Payasa was given to Kausalya, who is his first wife, and half was given to Kaikeyi, and then they gave a portion of it, both of them gave portions of it to Sumitra. But in another version, I read that Dasratha is king, right? And he wanted to have a stable family, stable government after him. If all four sons are born with the same energy, what if there is a rift among them? Who can survive? So he gave 50% of Payasa to to Kausalya, and rest of the half, within that he again made half of it, and 1/8 portion he gave to Kaikeyi, the third one. 2 1/8 portions he gave to Sumitra, and rest was given to Kausalya. With accordingly, the sons will be born with that strength. So that means whoever is born to Kausalya will be the most powerful son, and all the three taken together cannot win the first one. So then itself he decided that whoever is going to be born to Kausalya will be most powerful and he will be the king. And rest of the three, if even one person joins Rama, the first son, they are always powerful. Even if the three go and revolt against the first one, still the first one will be able to take. So that is called politics. So when you are planning for something, you better plan that things go in a smooth manner and there is only one in charge. Never create a system where multiple people can be in charge and they all have equal powers. Then it is impossible. Imagine if you have a 4-judge panel and two are thinking alike and the other two are thinking alike. Can you get judgment anytime? Impossible. Similarly, in any system, you have to make sure when you are creating that kind of a system as a manager or as a company owner, you have to make sure that the power cannot be revolted. People cannot revolt against the powerful person. So that's what Dasaratha has done. And everyone was joyous. Everyone in the city, in the state, all his entire country was so happy, expecting 4 kids for Dasaratha. Accordingly, after the 10th month, during the 10th month, he was blessed with 4 sons. The first one was born to Kausalya. The second one was born to Kaikeyi, and the 2 twins were born to Sumitra after the first and second kids. So they performed their Nama ceremony, that means naming ceremony. At that time, Vasishta was again their guru, king's guru. He named the first one as Rama. Kaikeyi, so Kausalya's son was named Rama. Kaikeyi's son was named Bharata, and then Sumitra's both sons were named Lakshmana and Shatrughna. They were all growing very well. Rama was so beautiful, he was blue in color. We did discuss about it last time. God is always said to be in blue color because there is no end to him, like sky. Sky is also blue. It has different colors, but always when we say sky color, we say it is blue. Similarly, Rama was blue in color, and all the four are the amsas of Vishnu, Narayana. That means they all came from him only. And so all the four were growing very well. They were getting all education from Vasishta. They were very beautiful, and everyone was so happy seeing them. And the way they were growing, the way they were getting their skills, they were very good in everything. They were learning Vedas, they were learning all the skills that kings should get. Dasratha was in heaven. He was so happy, so happy. No one could stop him. So 16 years passed without knowing. Understand, when things are going very smoothly, the days are very short. Though we have 24 hours in a day, still you feel that the time has just passed because your life was so good. When the life is having all troubles, the days are very long. So in Dashratha's case, 16 years passed just like very quickly. Then at that time, the culture was 16 years, the boy was supposed to be was considered as ready for marriage. So Dasaratha called all his ministers, his well-wishers, and he said, now they are all at 16 years old, they are marriageable, we should start thinking. If you have anyone in your idea, please let me know. Here, I would like to say marriage is a major, major thing in anyone's life. A good couple are made for each other, which means they have to complement their strengths and weakness. If my hands are like this and both of them are like this, I can't make contact, I cannot make them like this. This hand has to have these weaknesses. I mean, these fingers should have, these are the strengths, and this hand has weaknesses, and these weaknesses should fill the, I mean, the strengths have to fill the weaknesses of the other hand. Then only this can become so powerful. So, as for as wife and husband also, they have to complement. The weaknesses of the husband should be the strengths of the wife. So that way they can complement each other. They will not be fighting with each other for supremacy. That's why selecting the wife is very, very important, or selecting the spouse is very, very important. And that's why, even still in India, people may laugh, but still we have the tradition of parents looking for the spouse of their kids. They have seen their kids growing, they know the nature of their kids, and they know what kind of weaknesses they have, what kind of strengths they have. So they look for their better for another person suitable for this boy or girl, that complements the strengths and weaknesses. That's all. They want this kind of a bondage. So that's how they look. And at the same time, it is not that the parents show that this is the girl you want to marry, and then they just go marry that person. They are given a chance to talk. But from the parents' point of view, they are filtering so many things. They are looking at the compatibility. And then they say, go, we think you are compatible. Now you decide whether you are compatible or not together. Similarly, Dasratha was also looking for wives for all his four sons. While this entire happy moment was happening, Vishwamitra, another sage, very, very angry sage, that's what he's characterized as, but very powerful, very knowledgeable. He was a king and then turned into a rishi after performing so many tapasyas. So he arrived at the courtyard. Immediately, Dasratha got up. He went and welcomed him. Vishwamitra is also a Brahmarshi like Vasishta. So they are equals. Brahmarshi, Rishi, you can think that a researcher or a PhD, doctorate. Brahmarshi is even beyond that. So Brahmarshi is supposed to have no anger, just look at everyone at the same level, no partialities, no, it's all embodiment of goodness. But again, Vishwamitra is known in his past to be very angry person. But after he became Brahmarshi, it was not the case. But still. So Vishwamitra walked into the courtyard. Dasratha went ahead as he is in a very happy mood. Again, look at our human beings' nature, right? When we are very happy, we talk so much. We say so many things. We promise so many things to people. Similarly, when he came in, he said, "Oh, Vishwamitra, oh, sage, it's such a happy moment for me that you yourself came to my courtyard. I'm so lucky today. I feel that I'm in heaven. I'm blessed by your presence. Come on, please take your seat." So he was praising him so much. After initial conversation, Vishwamitra asked Dasratha how his kingdom is, how the things are, how the kids, everything. And then Dasratha asked Vishwamitra how his yagnas are going, how his tapasya is going, how are his sishyas, everything. Then Dasratha said, "I know you are very busy somewhere in the forest, and you came here, which means you need something from me. Please tell me. I am in such a position now because of the gracefulness of God and my kings, my ministers, my sons. I'm so happy. I can give you anything." Be careful when you are promising someone. At least say one disclaimer that whatever is within my power, whatever will not trouble others because of this boon. But he did not have any of such conditions. He was so happy. So one should be very careful when one is happy. That's a triggering point for all of us. I'm very happy. I'm in very happy mood. Immediately think that, man, I should not make any mistakes. I should be level-headed. I should know what I'm talking. I should know what I'm promising others. So he just said, "I am in a position to give you anything. Please ask me. Do you want me to come with you to anyone? I will be there. Please tell me what you want. If you want, I will give my entire kingdom to you. I'll give you everything that I have. Take it." Then Vishwamitra said, "Okay, I'm glad you are saying it. And you are from Ikshwaku's dynasty, and your predecessors have never gone back on their promise. And I know you will not go back on your promise. And especially when Vasishta is your guru, he must have groomed you so well that you will never go back on your promise. I'm performing a yajna for 10 days, and every time I'm trying to perform that, there are two Rakshasas who are troubling me. They are throwing uh, all what do you call, the blood, the flesh, all of those things into my yajna and making it bad, unsacred. So I need Rama to come and safeguard the yajna. And you may ask me, I was a warrior, I have all the powers, I can curse them as Rishi, but the main rule of my yajna is when I am performing that yajna, I should be peaceful, calm. I should not curse anyone. I should not have any bad thoughts about anyone. So the moment I get that bad thought, my yajna is gone. And without having getting the anger, I cannot punish them. I cannot punish them for any reason. So I'm not able to do that. Though I'm capable, I'm not able to do that. I want Rama to come with me and take care of my yaga. And he also, before Dasratha said anything, he told him that don't worry, don't think about your love for him. I am there to protect him. And Vasishta also knows why I am taking Rama with me. So don't worry. He will come back with lot of fame. Everyone will know after he protects my yaga, because see, I'm Vishwamitra, I'm well known. And if someone is helping me, what does that mean? Automatically they get that person will get the fame. So Rama will be very famous. Imagine what was happening with Dasratha. When you are attached to so much, Dasratha was attached to Rama so much, so much. Even though all the four are his sons, he was so attached to Rama. He was not able to live without Rama for even 1 minute. All of a sudden, Vishwamitra is saying, give me your Rama for 10 days and he will be fighting Rakshasas. So this is the immediately said, no, 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 Swami, don't do that. You're asking for my life. Instead, I will come with my entire army. I have the experience. I fought for Devatas against Rakshasas, and I helped them to win in the past. So I can come. And if you think I cannot complete it, let my entire army come. We will make sure that your yaga is completed. But forget about Ram. What was going on in his mind? When he was happy, he said, I can give you everything. I will give anything that I own. Take it. But when he asked for Rama, he lost all that thought process about him. He said, no, 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 I can't give Rama. Rama is just 16-year-old. He has not even fought his first fight. How can his first fight be with those two Rakshasas, two demons? Then Vishwamitra said, no, 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 it's okay. I can take them. Now, if you know that other person is very powerful and he wants help of someone, is it not his responsibility to make this person worthy of helping him? If Vishwamitra has chosen Rama to help him, is it not his responsibility to protect Rama and give him all the powers that he needs, all the education he needs to be successful? Dasratha just forgot about all of that logic. All he thought was, Rama is my son, he is just 16-year-old, I can't send him. As human beings, also, we do a lot of times. We love our kids, yes, and we protect them so much. But is it good for them? We are all Dasarathas. Oh, my son cannot do. My son cannot go to this public school. My son cannot go and do that. Oh no, no, no. He is very weak. I don't want him to do that. I'm sorry. Unless you put them to some harsh realities, how are they going to learn? When Prakash wanted to go to US Navy, it's very rare that Indian families in US send their kids to the armed forces. And at least in our families and friends, I was the first one who said, okay, Prakash, you have to go. You have to learn the reality of the life, the harshness of the life. Unless you know how difficult the life is, you will not appreciate what you have today. So I'm so glad you go there. And when Ankit also decided to go to US Navy, one of my American friends asked me, how can you send both your sons to Navy? Okay, you sent one, but why are you sending the second one too? Then I said, they are both individuals and they have to have their own life experience. They have to see the reality. I cannot push them to any troubles because I'm father, but life is presenting them an opportunity. Let them go. And when they came out of when they started experiencing Navy, and when Prakash came out, of course Ankit is still there. When I asked them what happened, was it a good decision? They said they appreciated it. They said, we know what is life. We appreciate what we have today, and we know how hard the life is outside. So maybe Dasratha in me was sleeping at that time, and Vasishta in me said, send them out. Similarly, here also, Dasratha should have thought that Vishwamitra himself is so powerful and he is choosing Rama. He will make Rama worthy and he will make Rama successful. Instead, he said, no, I'm not sending. And Vishwamitra started getting restless. At that time, Vasishta realized this one. He called Dasratha and told him, what do you think of Vishwamitra? Why he chose Rama? It's very good for Rama, just send him. Don't worry about anything else. Immediately Dasratha got that knowledge from Vasishta. That's another thing. When once a person you decide as guru, why do you decide him or her to be a guru? Because you think that person has better knowledge than you. If that is the case, how can you say 1 minute he has better knowledge than me, and another minute when it suits you, you say he has better knowledge. When it does not suit you, you say he does not. He's a stupid guy. That's not the case. Before even you choose your guru, you have to test him. So when Vasishta has been taken as guru for Dasratha, Dasratha already knows that whatever Vasishta says is true and good for him. So as soon as Vasishta said, go ahead, send Rama, immediately Dasratha said, okay, I will send them. And immediately he apologizes to Vishwamitra for his stupidity. He says, I'm extremely sorry. I did not want to. My intention was not to insult you or not to doubt your capabilities. It was all my love for Rama. So, from this, what we have to learn is we are all human beings, we make mistakes. And when someone you respect tells you not to do that mistake, better take it rather than confronting that person. And once you realize what you are doing, what mistake you are committing, immediately apologize. It takes a lot of courage to apologize, but one has to practice. Otherwise, by nature, it's to err is human. So we do commit mistake, and how quickly, how gracefully you retract from that mistake depends on your knowledge, your gurus, and whoever is around you. So Dasratha agrees to send Rama, but he says, Ram, by the way, I forgot to tell you, the two twins of Sumitra, Lakshmana was always with Rama, and Shatrughna was always with Bharata. Though they look like two teams, together they were always one. But whatever portion that the Kaikeyi gave to Sumitra, Shatrughna was born out of it. So if you look at it that way, the DNA part of it, Bharata and Shatrughna were together, and a portion of what Kausalya gave to Sumitra gave birth to Lakshmana. So Lakshmana was more inclined towards Rama. So they were inseparable. Rama would not eat, would not sleep, would not go for hunting, would not do anything without Lakshmana around him. So they were like two bodies and one soul. Similarly, Shatrughna and Bharata were two bodies and one soul. So Dasratha said, Swami, Lakshmana will also accompany Rama. Vishwamitra says, okay, that's fine with me. Then that news goes to Kausalya. Kausalya at this point is supposed to be more matured than Dasaratha. Dasaratha was also matured, but that don't mistake me. Dasaratha was blind by the love, whereas Kausalya was more balanced. She knows the powers of Vishwamitra. She knows what her kid will get by going with Vishwamitra. So she happily agrees to send Rama. From Sumitra's point of view, she has given birth to two kids, but almost she dedicated both kids to one to Rama, one to Bharata. She had never had any of her opinions. If Rama is going, Lakshmana will go. Who am I to say no to that? If Bharata is going, Shatrughna will go. So that's where she does not have any attachment or moha towards her sons. Look at the level of affection and attachment. Dasaratha was totally attached to Rama. Sumitra was attached to Rama, Lakshmana, and all of them. But she was more rational. She says, my kids have to learn things. They have to go out. They have to venture themselves. Whereas Dasratha was, I want to protect them always. Sumitra, she said, by giving birth to both of them, my duty is over. I know why I gave birth to them, and they are dedicated to their own soulmates. So I have no role there. Kaikeyi, her son was Bharata, but she was treating Rama as more than her kid, her own son. So likewise, all the four had motherly love from all the three people. And once Sumitra said, yes, they are going, none of the others had any objection to that. So Lakshmana and Rama and Lakshmana were ready to go with Viswamitra. So what happened at that time? They first went to mother Kausalya, and he prayed her. He took the blessings from his mother first. Blessings are such powerful waves we transmit from one person to the other person. Imagine if these hands and the edges of these hands and the legs, so our palms and our feet, they are the end points of our body. If energy is flowing from the heart by nature, by earth gravity, where is that energy going towards? It is going towards the fingertips of our hands and fingertips of our feet. Even the head going towards, I mean, the blood going towards the head needs some pumping energy from the heart. Of course, it is controlling the blood pressure and all of that, but still, the natural movement of the liquid is towards the gravity. So, when the energy is flowing through the blood, where is it totally concentrated? At the fingertips. So, that's why when in Hinduism, when we want to take the blessings, we put our head at the feet of the person from whom we want to take the blessings. That is the positive energy from that person. Again, the positive energy is concentrated on the fingertips. So the person who is blessing puts his hands on the top of the head of the receiver or seeker. So that way, the energy is going from both feet and hands, where the energy is highly concentrated, to his brain here. Imagine if we give it to their hands are already having some energy. There may be some repulsion. Whereas this is the most place that can receive the energy. It is above heart. So the natural tendency is to get the energy down this way. It automatically is received. That's why when the blesser is blessing, the blesser puts the fingers on top of the head of the receiver or the seeker. And the seeker is putting his head at the feet of the blessing giver. That's the reasoning behind taking blessings. Then they went to Dasratha's courtyard. They took blessings from father, that is Dasaratha, Rama and Lakshmana, and they took blessings from from Vasishta, and then they stood there. Then Dasaratha told Rama that from now onwards, for next however long Vishwamitra keeps you, he is your in charge, and treat him as if he were me. That means Rama was always pleasing his father. Lakshmana was always pleasing Rama. So indirectly, he was also pleasing his dad. So Dasratha said, you have to behave with Vishwamitra the way you behave me. So he is your foster parent until he returns you to Ayodhya. That just that one word, one sentence tells Rama and Lakshmana how important Vishwamitra is. So he has created a scale that anytime Vishwamitra asks you to do something, don't think that it is from Vishwamitra, it is from your dad. So give the same respect to the wishes or the instructions of Vishwamitra. With that, they took blessings of Vishwamitra also, and Vishwamitra started walking out of the courtyard with Rama and Lakshmana. So that concludes our today's 1 hour session. I hope the audio was good. I hope the things are going on well. You could understand what I'm saying, or maybe I have the capability of making myself clear and sending you the messages. Basically, do not look at it as if it's something a Hindu mythology or anything. Always relate it to your personal life. And if you have any questions, any challenges, definitely I'm there to guide you in whichever way I can do. As I said, the promises are never unbound. The disclaimer is within my capacity, whatever I can do, I will. Thank you so much. Enjoy your rest of the day.